You're recording? Okay.
I'm Don's friend from Malta. I live in the beach, but my mom is from the bar. I spoke to you last time, so I'm here again. And I liked how you spoke about Malta back, you know, when you were younger. So I want to hear more.
Okay, now ask the questions and I'll give you the answers if I can.
I'm waiting for others. So.
Okay, well, shoot some questions now. Maybe I could help you right away.
Okay, sure, go for it. Go for it.
Incidentally,
no, not yet.
Incidentally, Don, I'm recording some music for you. I will send it to you soon.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Nanna, that seems to be the medicine for Nanna. It seems to be very comfortable for her. She keeps the rhythm. And believe me, this is the bad hour at 2 o'clock and she's right there tapping away.
All right, that's great. What did he say? My grandmother's been suffering from dementia a bit, and my grandfather is an angel. Well, you're an angel and a devil. I will say this, but you're an angel to my Nana.
Thank you. That's quite a compliment. Two decorations at once. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay. So what's the question? Tell me that again.
Okay, so I just want to say let me just say there are other people coming, I hope. And Angel invited some students because Angel teaches theater. And so some students might show up and ask you questions, but I don't know them. They're Angel students, but it would be fun. And do you remember Vincent? Do you see Vincent on your screen?
Vincent. Yeah, I see him with the headphones on, right?
Iva.
Okay.
Hi.
Kif il-sabieħ?
Mux ħażin ma ngergrux. Minna tal-kazin jien, ovvjament.
Iva, enough. All right. Shoot. Ask me what you want. Let me see what I could help you.
I want to ask the question that someone asked me to ask you. They want to know how you and Nana met.
Oh my God. Okay, here, very, very short, very simple. We had a band. It was called the Star Stripes or the Jive Timers. However, Barbara's sister, brother, his name was Charles, he used to play the piano accordion with us. Up to that point, I didn't know Nana, except I used to see her walk in the street. However, we had a wedding to attend to, had an assignment, and for that day, Charlie Barbara could not make it. He called sick. Now we're in hot water because the piano accordion and the piano gave us the rhythm that we needed. However, the party that we were supposed to play for, he knew somebody. He says, I know a little kid. He says, and he's very good. He says, you want to get in touch with him? He gave me the address. Anyway, we did. We met the kid. The kid was marvelous. He was a genius. He came for rehearsal at 12 o'clock. 4 o'clock, the wedding was to take place. However, we said, well, I'm sorry to say this, we're going to keep this kid and let Barbara's brother go. And he was on the way to go to Australia. However, this kid turned out good. He came to rehearsal, but he was so small, he could not carry the piano accordion. So they used to come with him for rehearsals and entrances, which is my wife. She used to come along with him. And then there was a song going on, but nothing happened up to this point. But during rehearsals, then there was a song that was called As Long As You're Not in Love, Why Don't You Fall in Love With Me? And we did not have the copy of it. So she went and bought this song from Carabot or Lucia in those days in Valletta. My brother Charlie wrote the song, playing the tape on the gramophone, and he wrote the song, orchestrated it for the orchestra, and we played it. But however, she did not know exactly the story. And during the rehearsal, she said out of nowhere, "What is the name of this song? What? Oh, this is beautiful." And like an idiot, I says, "As long as you're not in love, why don't you fall in love with me?" I was 17 years old, and boy, did she hook me.
Where did you used to play?
And then she kept asking me, we used to walk them home because the accordion was very heavy. And during the trip home walking, she used to ask us to sing it for her. We sang it, and that was it. And I never asked her to marry me. I never asked her to go out with me. I never asked her parents nothing. We took it for granted from their own. I was 17, she was 19, and she stole me from the cradle.
How sweet.
And that was it. That was 78 years ago.
Wow.
We've been married now. We're going to make 72 years married. And I have a wonderful granddaughter right there in front of you. I'm so proud of her.
Oh, I love
John, the Jive Timers, the jazz band. Was it related to the band club?
Oh, yeah, because 4 of us, let me say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 saxophone, clarinet. 7 of us, 7 out of 19, 7 out of 16, where we were band. We used to play with the band. We had 2 clarinets, 1 saxophone. I had trombone. There's another one, Gauchi. You remember Gauchi? Carmen Gauchi, remember him?
me.
No, the gentleman, Vinny.
No. I'm too young to remember him.
No, because he died. Let me see. He used to have a banca. Remember the banca?
Okay. Okay. Now, I can relate the name, but I don't remember the person in it.
Okay, yeah, but he was the guy to inherit our band when we went to America. We gave him all the music, all the instruments, and gone. But 7 of us at least were band members. We played the members. I used to go with 2 trombones, the slide trombone and the regular trombone under my arms, because I used to, whatever they needed us, we played. Yes. But got 2 trumpets, no, Fredo Salerno, yeah. 2 trumpets, 2 tenor players. We had myself, my brother Joe, my brother Paul, my brother Charlie. That's already 9 playing with the band. And you know something else? Up to yesterday, I was listening to our Maria Mater Grazia band playing the marches. Anyway, I have them all. Someday I'll send you a copy, don't?
Excellent. So I'm so excited. Janet and Jerry joined us. Hi, Janet and Jerry.
Hello, Dawn.
Hi.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Hugs.
Hello, John.
Okay, I see Jerry. I see
I
Jerry.
like your fire.
Hi,
Hiya.
Jerry.
Hi, John.
How are you?
Well, okay here, thank you. And
This is
Francis? Aunt
Francis.
Francis?
She's okay. Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm fine. Lovely to see you, John.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Listen, Francis is fine. She's under no medications, believe it or not. She takes vitamins only. She's got a slight dementia here and there, but she's 96, going to be 97. I'm surprised
Wow.
at myself. I don't forget. I'm 94, going to be 95. But all in all, we are
Excellent.
fine. We got a daycare and night care 24 hours a day. That's by law. And then we
Fantastic.
can complain. Anyway,
Fantastic. You're looking very well. You're looking well. You're looking very well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I
Good.
cannot complain. With the help of God, my office has a chapel in it, all right? I'm very religious. So with the help of God, he takes care of me so I could take care of her.
Good. Good.
Very sweet.
Right, Dawn?
Indeed, that is true. And we have Nikki Gambin. I don't know you, Nikki. Are you one of Angel's students?
Yes, I am. Hi, Dawn.
Hi,
Hi,
nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi, John.
how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you.
I don't know whether what Angel has told you. Basically, I'm working on a project at the moment where the idea is that we kind of want to reach out to elderly communities because obviously elderly people unfortunately during the pandemic have had to stay indoors and reduce the amount of contact.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people in Malta who they have no one visiting them, so we kind of want to reach out to these elderly people, and the aim is basically we started with the idea that people in homes sort of start feeling redundant, where we
That's-
kind of want to really show the importance that like we live in a society thanks to the people that came before us. So we want to
Yes,
showcase how like they're still important and their work is still valid. So Angel brought your name up while I was speaking to her about this project, and I wanted to pop in just to hear a little bit about your story, John.
Yeah, ask the questions. Well, try to answer
Yeah.
them the best I know. We spent a long time with the club.
I was gonna, yeah, kind
This-
of like
and,
a bit about your life. Mhm.
somebody
Angel, I'm
said-
sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you ask him?
Because like kind of an introduction, because Nick doesn't know John at all, where he lived, his experiences in Malta, reasons why he went to America, a couple of stories, anecdotes, when you were there, you know,
It's a lot.
you
let me
basically.
give you-
Yeah, I know.
Let me give you the general overview. That way, Nikki, you'll understand more. And then my Nannu will talk about something, maybe Nikki, if you have a specific question. But essentially, Nannu, you're born in 1926, am I right?
Yes, that's
October 14th, 1926, in
yes,
Zabar, Malta.
yeah.
And he had
There
10.
was a headline. There was a headline on the New York Times. No, on the Times of Malta. They say a miserable person is born today.
You're ridiculous, Nannu.
Listen, I'm just kidding. The gentleman that was asking me a question before. Let me answer his questions first, all right?
Okay, Nikki, he wants you to ask him a question.
Sort of. I think I am quite interested about the emigration. So, what made you decide to move from
Well,
Malta to America?
We are very close-knitted family, right? Maltese, احنا Maltese, Maluin.
Yeah.
My brother Charlie was in the Air Force after finishing because he was going to become a priest, and then he was abused a little bit and he gave it up. So then during the Air Force, he couldn't get a job. He was drafted in the Air Force. He went to Libya and Egypt, and he was a good very band master. He was a good musician, but when he came home, and we couldn't get away without him because he was the leader of the orchestra that we had, Jive Timers and Stars and Stripes, always America and his head. And he immigrated to America. And we all wanted to go after him because we wanted to be with him. And in America, thank the good Lord, we have spent a lifetime of being together. The last separation we had, because he died in 1996. Glory died in, yes, 1997. And we had a big loss because we had an orchestra here, we had classical music, we play string instruments, and they call us tal violino, man has a bar, tal violino.
Okay.
Alina, I'm sure you'll find out. And we suffered a loss, so we all decided to go to America, including my mother and my father. My brother Larry is the only one left in Vittoriosa, which he died 6 months before him. They were both 76, 75. That's it. But that's why we went to America.
Okay. For context, John, I was born in 1997.
And well, then I was in Malta too. Because
Okay.
my brother Larry died in 1996. I was in Malta. And 1997, 1998, I was every year in Malta from 1992 to 1998.
Mhm.
Yes, and but I must have been there. What month were you born?
I was born September 1997.
Well, I was in Malta.
Ah, okay.
I was
Where
in Malta.
are you from? Zabar, near Zabar at all?
No, but I have a friend of mine who's currently living in Zabar, so she lives in that area.
Yeah. Are you affiliated with the club?
No, I'm not, unfortunately.
So where are you from actually?
I was born in Nashar, but now I live in San Juan.
Nashar, San Juan. San Juan, we have family in San Juan.
We
We
do?
have family. Her cousins live in San Juan. Yeah, Alison and Trevor Merchia. They
Okay.
live. Yeah. Okay, you know, Alison Merchia's children. They live in San Juan.
Okay.
And on Uncle Paul's side, there's also family there, like Uncle Jerry, Uncle Francis, his son Jimmy. I think they live in San Juan too. James.
James lives in Spain now. He moved out of Malta. They're not in Malta now.
He's not in Malta anymore.
No, they moved to
Oh
Spain,
wow!
as far as I know.
But-
Last I heard, they were in Spain. Let's Jerry. I muted you because there was background noise. So I'm going to ask to unmute you. But as soon as there's like background noise, I'm just muting people because last time was such a disaster with the background noise. But Jerry and Janet, if you have a question or if you want to say anything, you know, you can unmute yourselves if you want to say anything as well. But while we're waiting, I'm going to throw in some content. There we go. Okay.
A question for the young man from the university. Are you doing research on this subject of old people across international borders? In other words, an international piece of research? And will that research focus on Maltese, the Maltese diaspora, the elderly Maltese? In other words, will you be wanting people like ourselves to be your questionnaire answers to help answer the questions you have for your study?
So currently we're focusing locally first, and then we want to, and then after we've done like we're doing a test pilot on a local scale, and then we kind of want to try and open up our borders. But it is definitely something that I would be open to considering.
Okay.
So thank you for that. So I will definitely find a way to get your contact details somehow.
How sweet.
All right, from Dawn.
Yes, that's why I introduced him, Nikki, because I know how hard he works, and also Dawn. And Dawn has introduced us to this little community, and it's really lovely because you get to know people on a more personal level. It's less cold kind of thing. It's a warmer feeling. And for the theater pieces Nikki is working on, I think it will be a good direction to have when he's researching. He's just starting out, so I would like him to have a good base on which to start his research. So when he starts, you know, he takes off with his writing, this would be a good model for him to work. He's kind of my little protege.
Wonderful. So welcome, Marlene.
I'm here. I've been here all the time.
Oh, okay. We just didn't see you.
I've listened to a lot of interesting things and John's musical career. Oh, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Marlene.
Marlene.
I have your surname, Marlene Saliba. We spoke before. We spoke.
Oh, I know. I remember that. You're from Santa Lucia.
Exactly. I've been listening since the beginning. I am very interested in what you were saying about your band. That's fascinating.
We had We had a great band in Malta. We were ahead of ourselves, ahead of the time. I don't know if you remember Oscar Lucas and his band. Do you remember
I
him?
remember Oscar Lucas, yes.
There were 6 people. There was also the Maryland Swingers from Zabar. But the best one that could compete with us was, I think, Wellington or Harrington. Has a big band like us. He had a 15-piece band. We had a 16-piece band.
And when was it? What period was it? Was it, what period was it? After the war?
After the war, because first we started after the war was in 1945. We were refugees in Bikirkara. We moved to Zabar again, and we formed the first band, which called the Blues Band, which is a small group, 6. But when my brother Charlie came back from Egypt, he was a bandmaster in the Air Force, Royal Air Force. And we formed a band. We had some English players, we had some Italian prisoners working with us, and we had local people, quite a few of them. But we were playing the American. There it is, right there. That's
lovely.
Wow, Vincent is sharing that. Wow.
Who put that in? Who put that in? Who had that picture?
I don't know.
Vincent.
It's me.
Vincent.
Okay.
John, can you remember?
That was the Jive.
Till what time in Malta did you have the band? In the 50s?
This got to be 1946.
Can you stop? Wait, can everyone stop? I can't believe you have this picture. My Nannu is playing the drums. My Uncle Charlie is on the trumpet. Where's Uncle Joe? Is that him?
Listen, wait, don't listen to me. I'm playing the drums, not your cousin.
That's what I said. I said you were playing the drums.
Yes, and the next one, the piano accordion, was Charlie Cicluna. He died too.
Oh.
On my left is Domenico Cassar, Yedulul Pop, Min Hazabar. And his son was also part of the Maryland Swingers. My brother standing on there on the left, that's Charlie, the one that was in Egypt, that came and formed the band. That was the first one to come to America.
That's my uncle.
Next to him, sitting down, is Carmelo Gauci, which he inherited the band when we left for America.
Wait, is Carmelo Gauci the one playing the violin?
No, that's Louis Shriha. His name is Luigi Shriha. The Maltese Luigi is Louis. Okay, the name of the band is Jive Timers.
Wait,
then next to the big drum is my brother Joe with the saxophone. Next to him, there's Carmelo Grima Tabagari with the tenor sax. Next to him, there is Carmelo Ancelleri from Hamroon. And there's about 3 others missing that were not with us that day. But that's the opening of the Blue Arena.
Wow.
If it's 1946, it's before the Blue Arena. The Blue Arena was opened in 1948.
Well, then no, it can.
I think it's the old stage before the Blue Arena when they.
There's no stage yet. Yeah, there was no stage. As you see at the ceiling, there was not. It was just curtains behind us.
Okay.
Curtains.
If it's 1946, it's before the Blue Arena. It was in this building stage at time.
In the building stage, then yes.
1946.
We were the first ones to get married in there. The first couple, myself and my wife.
I found your details in the minutes.
Can you share that? Can you share that?
Ago.
Oh my God, you have that? Can you share it?
I don't have the actual minutes of the actual paper, but I have the details. I will try and find them in my Excel. John, can you make a favor for me, please? Can you say the names of the band people, because I missed them all? So you're the drummer, yes?
I'm John Saliba, the drummer. On the piano accordion was Charles Cicluna. He died in Australia. Was a That's the kid that got us married. That's the one I was talking about, that he was so small.
Yeah.
That's him. It was him.
I want to
was the
add.
marriage with-
I want to add something about Charlie. First of all, the story that my Nannu told you guys about how my Nana and my Nannu met. Charlie Barbara, Agatha Barbara's brother, was the original accordion player. But then one day he couldn't make the gig or whatever. So they knew there was this child. How old was Charlie? 9 years old?
About 9 or 10. I think 10 more.
A little protege on the accordion. He couldn't even hold the accordion. And that's how my Nana helped bring the accordion to the rehearsal, because he couldn't even carry it and he couldn't even put it on. They had to like help him put the accordion onto his body. But then he was so good, they decided to keep the 9-year-old child instead of Charlie Barbara. And now that's Charles Shikluna, who is also my Nana's nephew, and also cousin Jerry, who's here with the blue shirt.
That's his cousin, yeah.
First cousin.
What is the surname of the boy who plays the accordion?
The one in the picture, or the one that we're talking about?
The boy who was so good.
The boy.
Him. That was the guy.
Shikluna.
What's his surname?
Charles Shikluna.
Shikluna, yes, that's it.
Okay, Shikluna. Okay.
Charles Shikluna. And the one with the trumpet is your brother?
No.
The one standing up is my brother. He was the leader of the band, Charles Saliba.
Charles Saliba.
And I want to stop for a second also, because my Nannu just told a story about how his brother was in the Air Force. He was studying to be a priest, and he was abused by the priest, so he left that. And then he was in the Air Force, and he was in Egypt. And then he also was a very famous guy in Malta, and he ended up writing the march for the Maltese Olympics that was played in what, 1982, was it, Nannu?
I can't remember offhand.
I think it was 82.
I don't remember.
So
Excuse
Uncle
me.
Charlie, my Uncle Charlie, whom I remember, wait, Nannu, I might have to mute you if you're gonna yell at him. Just don't answer it. He likes to yell at these people that
Oh, I talked to them in Maltese. I said, Shitri, what do you want? Get out of here. Idla, mur barra. I find that thing works very well. Or, talk to them, idly. شو سنعمل لك انت؟ هذا شو بورتك مني انت؟ شافدك خبر راسي نجنن روح نجننه. Anyway, so let me finish the names of the band.
The picture's gone. Can you put the picture back?
I like to have a copy of.
I was trying to find the detail about the minutes of the wedding. Let me put the picture up back again.
I just took a screenshot of the picture, Nannu, so you'll have it.
Okay, you email it that picture, because I don't have that picture.
I'll send it to you. I'm building a Pinterest about the band club.
Oh, fantastic! He's building a website, Nannu. He's making a website. It's called Pinterest. He's making a website of all the photos from the band club.
I still have the trombone I played. I gave it to Auntie Paula. She has it.
Oh, wait. Okay.
So it's back up, I think. Yes?
Yeah, I was about to do it for you, but never mind. You did it.
Yeah. Now, let's go. Let's finish. So the child was the accordion player was the child that I was telling you about, and that was caused my marriage. Now, on my right, the guy with the bass, he was about 75 years old. He was not a musician, but he played the bass by ear. And boy, he was funny. It was funny because he had the bass and he twirled it around while we play, and he used to drink like a maniac. And I never saw him drunk. Never saw him drunk. Okay, let's go to the one standing up. Is my brother Charlie, trumpet player.
What is the name of the bass player, please?
Domingo Tatney. His Domingo Tatney. Domingo Cassar.
Domingo Cassar. Okay.
Yeah. And his children were all crazy Maltese supporters of Maria Mater Grazia, Al-Baqra. Okay, now the next one's sitting next to my brother Charlie, standing. His name was Joe Charlie Gauchi.
Is that the one who's related to David Camilleri and Father Camilleri?
No.
No, okay.
Gauchi, you know Gauchi. Don't.
He's related to the Gauchi, Joe Gauchi in America.
Yeah, Joe Gauchi. That replaced me when I retired. I gave him the job that I had.
That's his father?
That's his father. He looks like him too.
Oh, what's his name again?
Charlie Gauchi.
Carmenu
Gauchi.
Oh, cool.
And the one next to him, he's dead now. They're both dead. Carmenu Gauchi died. My brother died next to him. Domingo Datnay died behind him. And the one with the violin, that was Luigi Shriha. He died too. He was such a nice gentleman. He died too. Now let's go to next to me, next to the drums, sitting down. That's my brother Joe. He died too.
Can I interrupt? Let me interrupt you guys. If you remember the stories of my grandfather on the bicycle, when the German guy in the airplane was attacking him, and remember the story of when so he was with his brother during that time when they were biking in Amjar, and the German Messier plane was trying to shoot them, and they finally played dead. And then the other story with Joe, the one who's playing the saxophone, was when they were in Burgu, and then there was some shrapnel about to cut them in half, and my Uncle Joe grabbed my Nannu and got him out of the way, so he saved his life. So that's the same guy of those stories, my Uncle Joe.
That's right, that is right. Next to him is a guy is in the Charlie Bagari. Used to be Charlie Bagari. He plays the tenor sax. And believe it or not, when I went to Malta, he went to America too. But he went to Malta and he opened a business. He visited me in Malta. Him and another guy, Borda. His name was Borda Milbergu. They were both running from the law because something with the taxes. And they had two detectives from America pick them up and ship them back to Detroit to pay the price. And the one next to him is Charlie Milhamroon. He's from Charlie Grima Milhamroon, who was a great painter, sign painter. As a matter of fact, the Jive Timer sign on the drums, he made that.
Wow. That's the last guy? Wait, that's the last guy in the row? The one with the saxophone all the way on the left?
Yeah, all the way, yes.
So he made the drum, the Jive Timers.
No, he made the sign, Jive Timers with the music.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that stage, about the curtains, about building it? Do you remember anything about building the Blue Arena?
They were like you say, provisionals, the temporary thing, because there was no walls built behind us yet. Behind that was the garden. There was a garden. So the wall in there, they were just, cover up. And the front descent, you could see all this material, draperies and all that. The ceiling, you could see that's all decoration that they used to use. There was nothing solid yet.
Where was that? Was that in the band club itself, or was that somewhere else?
Oh yeah, that's in the band club.
Yes.
It's called Blue Arena today.
Oh, okay. So it's in the. What are those signs?
It used to be a movie house. Used to be a dance hall. Then they made a movie out of it. The regular movies, open air movie, and and they used to rent it for weddings and dances and stuff like that.
You see those signs? It says A on the right and B on the left. Do you know what those signs were?
Where? Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, just curious. Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't have that picture. I have the one that I have more close up, but this is more, you could see the stage. You know something? I could go downstairs and get the picture to see the background if it's the same.
Oh, you should do that.
Let me see.
Do that. Okay.
Let me see. Let me get my picture from downstairs.
Don't take too long. My
Dawn, when did your uncle go to America, so that I will know how long did the band last? till what time was there the band?
My Nannu will tell you better than I can't answer that, but I'll tell you what I do know. They came to America in 1953.
So no, I was too young. No, it was, I can't remember anything at that time. But, I mean, when it started, I wasn't born, you know, so it's before my time, you know.
But Nannu came back. He came back to Malta in 1970 or 71 or 69. He came back in the early, I think it was 1970. He came back to Malta and then he stayed a few years. And I don't really know how involved he was with the band club in the 70s. I don't know. He was living in Marsala, I think. So you can ask him when he comes back. I don't know.
But that's all right. I just wanted to know how many years the band lasted to see if perhaps, you know, I managed to know somebody who knew the band.
Yeah.
This is the same picture that you showed me, I think, because I could see the background, but it's a close-up of a picture. You could see the faces more.
Bring it close to the camera, Nannu.
It's the other side. You have to turn.
It's very, there's a lot of reflections, but you guys can see, can you see the people?
Let me turn the lights off.
Yes.
You know, I think I have that somewhere emailed. I think he emailed that to me.
I have never seen this one before.
You see how close up it is?
It's
better, maybe.
I cannot see it. I don't know if others can see it, but I cannot see the picture.
It's difficult to see it, but can you see it now? I can see it now.
No, I can see you now. You have full screen.
Oh,
I had your Nannu before and I still couldn't see it. It was turning it the other way, not towards my side of the screen. Yes, now I can see it a bit, but now he removed it.
And now, what? You want me to do it again?
But cover your face. That's it. Yes, okay, now I can see it. That's fantastic. Wow. Oh.
It's a close-up. Now,
Fantastic.
this is in America. This is my idea. This is something I made 2 dimensions because we played in America. We had a band in America. This is the classical music that we had there. I made this picture out of the 4 brothers, as you could see. Could you see us in there?
Saliba strings.
He's amazing. My Nannu does these artistic works. They're amazing. Jody, hi. I'm happy to see you. Okay. So no, my grandfather has made so many plaques like that. And what he did, he printed out the photo that he was trying to show you. He printed it out and then he cut out the picture and then he put it on wood and then he pasted it on the wood and then he cut the wood with the people. And then he put that on top of the other wood, the plaque. And there you go. You see my Nannu is playing guitar. Is that Uncle Charlie next to you or Uncle Paul?
Yes, Uncle Charlie.
That's Uncle Charlie, who's the one with the trumpet, he wrote the march with the Olympics, was in Egypt in the Air Force. And Nannu, can you move the image to, I don't know if it's your right? No, the other way. The other way. Yeah, keep going, more, a little more. And that's Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe's the one that was sitting down playing the sax, the one that the Germans tried to shoot him with.
I'm only seeing you, Dawn. I'm only seeing you. You have full screen.
And Marlene, you have to change your view on the upper right-hand side where it says view.
That's the
gallery.
Oh, right, that side.
Yeah, because you have it on speaker right now. You have to change it to gallery. And then all the way on the other end, keep moving, Nannu, keep moving to
There's Uncle Paul.
No, the other way.
That's me in the guitar.
There's Uncle Paul on the right. Okay. So that's beautiful. Here, wait.
And Uncle Joe made all the bandstands.
Nanu, can you lift it up again? I'm gonna try to take a snapshot to show everybody, and I'm gonna put it on full screen. Yeah, I'll try. It's a little hard. Okay. Can you move it still a little? Yeah, keep going. That's good. Stop. Because I want to get Uncle Paul in the picture. Yes. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
Is this better now? You want?
Yes.
Yeah. That's Uncle Paul.
Though that picture is in America, not Malta, right?
No, this one, this picture was when we put a concert for the Maltese handicapped and for Tassiliziani. Anyway, with Father Camilleri was one of us. He actually was the organizer of that. And
Wow.
we had 6,000 people at Mother Christie High School. And the show lasted from 7:30 till 3 o'clock in the morning. And they were all Maltese individuals, you know, the actors, the singers, the comedians, the musicians. And it lasted all the, and we couldn't even stop because they were after it. We were doing all right.
Great.
Anyway,
John,
yes.
this is the
Wow.
and oath that I took from September 1948.
Wow.
In bold, there are the details of your marriage at the Blue Arena.
What?
That's right.
Wow. I'm
Tal-arena
seeing it.
għat-tizza John
Fantastic.
Saliba, l-ewwel tizza tal-arena.
Fantastic.
Erbaliri, eżatt. And then later.
But I did I did not pay no money because we were musicians. But this is something. Hey, take a picture of that, Don.
Okay, I'm not sure.
And then there are 10 shillings for the cleaner.
The maid, the
For the
cleaner.
maid. Ħlas fatiga l-okkazjon ta' tizza John Saliba 10 xelini. These were written in the cashier's accounts.
How about that? But I didn't pay anything.
So he must have took the money then.
No, the reason is because El Bandisti, the band, the musicians, they were entitled to everything because we were the life of the band, of the club.
Okay. I knew there was an arrangement
Kien
hemm arranġament ta' soċi u għal-barranin żgur.
That's soċi, yes.
Yes. The members paid £4, whilst other people from outside the club used to pay £6 or £8.
Yes.
So that's the reason why there is £4 written over there. If you were out of the club, if you weren't a member, you used to pay £6 or £8. I found it in another marriages later on, but yours was the first one for sure. Ron, did you take a snapshot of this?
I did.
Good.
Do you happen? Listen. Do you happen to? Do they still play Linnu ta' Malta? Not Linnu. Written by the music was written by Pacheco,
by Lorenzo Gonzi.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is still played every year when the statue goes up the column.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece of music. I could never take it off my heart.
It is going to be 100 years old in 3 years' time.
Oh wow!
The statue was commissioned in 1924, and the first time that it went out with the band, it was in 1927.
Yeah. And they used to have slaves under the statue. Then they removed them.
No, they're still there.
But they did stop it for a while. They did remove them for a while because people were complaining the slavery and all that baloney. And but they put them back, and that should be. It should be because it was the real thing.
They're still put up.
No raciality.
I will try and find a picture of the statue taken last 2 years for you.
That's good research. It's beautiful. Let me tell you something. Maybe you know it. Maybe you don't know it. We had Yismu. I'm sorry, I'm talking Maltese, but the nicknames are Maltese. La'mukin il-Jum'a.
What does that mean?
He was a tough guy, full of tattoos and all. Real tough going guy. And when they used to carry the Malta, the statue of Malta from Vicini, we used to play there, with the band. and the statue we carry beside it. He murdered somebody because fighting who's gonna carry the statue, and he stabbed somebody.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
my
I know about it.
goodness.
1949, 1949.
Right, that's exactly. He stabbed somebody, and he served this time in jail too.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
goodness.
And the person that he killed was not involved in the argument in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes, he killed the wrong person.
Yeah.
He was arguing with some.
تفتكروا Nietzsche تفتكروا.
I know the family. I know the family.
That's what it happened, my friend. That's what it happened.
Yes. Dawn, if you want to read about it, it's written in a book with I think it's Alfred, the Maltese scholar who writes about the murders. It's sitting in there. 1949.
And again, when he came out of jail, he went right there carrying the Malta. It was very fervent, you know. I mean, he can.
Yes, the argument started all about the statue, and then it went out of hand, obviously.
Yeah, it's stupid.
What was the argument like about the statue? What were they arguing about with
The argument was who was going to carry the statue, and he didn't want anyone else to touch it.
How religious.
Yes.
Having this religious.
Don't. That has nothing to do with religion. That has to do who is going to have the honor to carry the statue of Malta.
It's terrible.
And that statue was beautiful. That statue is so beautiful. It really represents Malta the way it should be, as a warrior. Because Malta has been a warrior. She's a female name because it ends with an A. Anything that ends with an A in Malta is a female in pronoun. Is a female. So Malta is a female. So that's why she's a lady. And Malta went through the whole history of warriors.
There it is.
There she is. Beautiful.
That's taken in 2019, I think.
Yeah. Now listen, you see the slaves in there? Dawn. Look at the slaves.
I've seen the statue. I remember thinking how horrible it was with the black people on the bottom. I was thinking that's terrible.
No.
Anything that had nothing to do with a murder or Zabar or anything.
No. That has nothing to do with black people because Malta, let me tell you, they talk about slavery. Gozo was emptied through slavery 1 million times. They have to refurbish Gozo with population. The whole population was taken in slavery. So it's no black and white. The barbarians actually were the first time that caused the slavery. The barbarians, the Arabs were the ones that catch each other and go, and the Turks used to go and they hold them, and they take the whole population in slavery. But that's a beautiful statue. And now go back to the statue, the scenery you showed us before.
I was about to take a photo and I missed it.
Oh, take it.
Vincent, put it back. Can you put it back, that last photo of her?
Okay. So this is the one that we're talking about.
No, I did that photo. The last one you had with the blue background.
John, you want this one or the other one, please?
No, I have
this one.
that photo.
This one. I want that one. I tell you one thing. Don't this way. You remember what I'm gonna tell you. Remember David
Camilleri?
Yes.
He's supposed to join us soon.
His grandfather was the bandmaster of Talbara. When I was in there after Shikruna. On top of that building, at the very where the Balafas trade is, on top there, when we used to play, the band is by where Malta is, and there's a pedestal where they call it El Pianchir. We used to play in there, and above there'd be Maltempo's grandfather, Lele Maltempo, his grandfather, with the trumpet, and he make the solo from up there with the trumpet that night. And we're playing in the band on the Pianchir on the stage.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay, so Lele used to go up there on the.
That's Lele Maltempo.
Lele Camilleri.
Yeah, I remember the Ave Maria started like this. Yeah, ta 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 ta. It is squilly. Ta 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 ta. But da 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 da, and there go the Ave Maria. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Got it.
That's a nice picture. That's a nice picture.
I'm going to try and find the picture of the planchette that you're saying. I think I have one.
Yeah, the Anchir, yeah, they use it every year.
I think that I have a photo of 1951 during the coronation.
Yeah,
I'll try and find it for you.
because we used to, the hardest piece I ever played, was the Quattro Fontani, the 4 mountains. And you know where that's coming from? Verdi. And that was when they beheaded St. Paul. And when they beheaded him, his head bounced 4 times.
Oh my
And
God.
where his head hit the ground, it opens a fountain, water. Quattro Fontani, the 4 fountains, where his head bounced 4 times, and every bounce, the water came out.
Oh God.
There you are, John.
There you are, yes, sir.
It's 1951.
But when I played the one we had, when I played in there was no handrail around it.
This is the one used for 1951 for the special occasion of the coronation of the
Yeah.
of the
There's so many
painting.
things I could tell you. There's so many things like the museum, Zabar, the museum. They actually where they coronated the Virgin Mary. Remember, that used to be the state room of the passenger ship called Alcantara. His name was Alcantara, and that was in collision with another ship. With I can't say it, Chevron or something like that. And when they had that collision and they dismantled the ships, they kept that one, and they either donated or they bought it Gazeta Baqra for the church.
He bought it.
That was the state room of the Alcantara.
El Capellan Zarb.
Okay,
Yes.
if it's okay, I want to let other people ask questions too, because this is, a group thing.
Yes, of course.
Jody joined us, so it's
I belong to the club still after all these years.
okay. So Jody, I'm so happy to see you. And since our last meeting, we found out all these crazy connections between our families.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty wild for sure.
Yeah, and I can't even keep it straight. Like I know Donna, who's Francis's wife, is related to the husband. I don't know.
Is the niece of my uncle, by marriage, not so it's very roundabout, strange connections. But
and Nannu, I don't know if you remember, but you knew her family in Astoria, New York. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So welcome back. And yeah,
Bonavilla.
huh?
There was somebody named Bonavilla too, right, in there, with the window, with the bay window, the big lamp, and the.
Yeah. You know what? I found out after talking to my dad that they lived. I actually know they then moved to Flushing, and that's the house that I know. So.
And you know something? My daughter is married to George. God have mercy on his soul, and they were closest friends to them. Very. Yes. And we played in their backyard too. We had a picnic in there. We played the mandolins and guitar. We had, that's the Bonavilla, of course.
I still need to find out what my family's nickname was in Malta, so I can let you guys know that.
Which one is that? Can say that again?
You had mentioned how different families had nicknames, since there was so many of there's only so many names, so to keep them apart.
Oh yeah.
And my dad didn't know of one, but I need to ask my aunt because she's got a little bit more knowledge. So I'm hoping maybe she knows.
Well, it's a small word, honey.
Yeah.
In Malta.
Yeah, obviously. Look how small.
Let me tell you this. In Malta, the size of Malta is, forgive my English, the dropping of a fly. Okay, in comparison to the United States, not even the dropping of a fly. But yet, it's so important. It's so activated and involved with the whole world. Wherever you go, not that many, but you find a Maltese, and Australia, and New Zealand, Tasmania, My tailor, he went to New Zealand. His name was Broderick. He had a big tailor shop in Zabar. And what the hell would believe that this guy would go to New Zealand of all places? You know, England, forget about France. So I could tell you stories forever. Anyway,
Jody,
but that lamp is always in my mind because it has such a it imposed such a good position in the street. A big lamp like this with the bay window open, such an impression it gives you, you know.
Some good decorating if you remember it after all these years.
Yeah, I remember. These are things that, you know, kind of get stuck in your mind. But I know them, and we had a good time together. This is going back, let me tell you, back up to 1956, 57, then 1959. We moved a little further down to 23rd Street and 25th Avenue, but we still continued, you know, playing music. Music is our life. What can I tell you? Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Jody, that you'd like to ask my Nannu about anything? It doesn't have to be family. It could be anything about Malta.
I don't know. I just like hearing the stories. Like it's so interesting. Like I thought that was really cool. The artwork that you were holding up. I mean, that's really cool thing that people look back on.
Nannu, show them your art. You have so much art. Show more. Show your paintings. You're in your office. You must have.
I show you Zabar Church, okay? And I know Jerry is listening to me, right? He painted that church too, and I liked it very much, and Janet too.
Wow.
But this is what this here. This is my favorite, believe it or not.
Mater Grazia. That's the church in my Nannu's hometown. So Jody, when I first got to Malta, and I was, 40 or something, okay, when I first got here, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about anything, but I started at the church, which is why it's important for you, if you want to find out your family's history, to find out the name of the village that your family's from here and go to the church. Because once you go to the church, they have everything in the book. So there's these giant books, and I could find everything. I could find when they got married, when my dad was born, and then my Nana's dad, and I tried to go back to like my grandparents' grandparents, but the problem even in Zabar is that they had the same names over and over again. So there were like 10 pages of Felix Chiklunas, like 30 Felix Chiklunas. I couldn't figure out which one was my Nana.
Wait, let me interrupt you, Dawn. This is something that I explained to you before. In Malta, we had nicknames for the families. The reason
the Violino, we're the Violino. I know this, but I'm talking about the records in the church, the archives.
No, but what I mean, the nicknames of the families in Malta was they have so many same last names. You don't know what the vocabulary is, but if you say Saliba, the musicians, they oh yeah, Saliba this, Saliba that, Camilleri this. That's why the nicknames. And it took me all my life hating the nicknames, hated them. And then when I came to America, I realized why. Why did they have the nicknames? Why? Because the names are all the same. They're all related, interrelations.
Wow.
Little towns but they good interrelations. But that was the nickname, and it made a lot of sense. That's why they say some nicknames are the carpenters, the smiths. That's why it was because what they used to do, what they were related to. The relations.
Well, I did try to start to kind of put together some family tree just from listening to my dad talk, but then he said that my grandfather was one of 13, and I was instantly like, I'm never gonna get this straight.
I wish you.
I'll
give
you a website.
I wish you luck.
Yeah.
Jody, I'll give you a website because forget about 13. I have 734.
I just meant immediate siblings, but yeah.
No, but you can't do it. Like I needed a website, a software.
Yeah.
Because I found my Maltese family. I didn't grow up knowing them. I didn't grow up knowing Jerry, who's here. I only knew the family that came to America that was in Astoria, Queens. Yeah. I didn't know anybody in Malta. And we had in England and Australia. And so I don't know when Facebook started.
And you have in France, you have in Tunis, you have in Algiers.
And I haven't met any of those. I couldn't find those.
They're all cousins. Birkirkara, full of cousins.
You never
Birkirkara,
told me the Birkirkara cousins. You have to tell me them. Because he doesn't want to tell me.
I'm not gonna go there. Oh no. Salibas, Birkirkara, forget about it. And Rahajrit, Casal Paula, oh my goodness. You got and most of the musicians, Vassallos, Mikhailov musicians, they're all related.
Yeah.
But I could never reach that far.
But it's fun, like, because when Facebook started, all I needed was 1 or 2 people, right? And as soon as I found one person, then they say, oh, this is, these are my brothers, this is my sister, my cousin, you're related this way. And then, oh, we have someone in Australia. So I find the one person in Australia. And then before you know it, I have 30 people in Australia. And I've met them. I've met the people in the UK. One's here now, Jerry and Janet. Like, I didn't know you growing up. I only found all of you guys on Facebook. In like 2000, I don't know, 10, 12, 13, whatever year it was.
Listen, don't. Jerry is no stranger to America, He was the general manager of the hotels in America, right, Jerry?
No.
Huh?
No.
I said, you're not strange to America. You've been coming and going.
Well, that's different. That's different. Not for hotels. Not for hotels.
I have a memory of you as a little boy, you and your brother Frank, and with the big cap. You remember the caps here, that beanie cap here, and coat. That's a vivid memory of you and your mom and your brother. Yeah, and that's the room that we used to call Aunt Francis. Okay, that room when I met you there in Zabar. Where the square of Agatha Barbara is in the square, her statue was in there. That middle store, that's where I used to see you all the time. And your mom, then you moved to Marsa Scala. I remember all that.
You do. Good.
Remember any of it?
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question if nobody else has a question,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you if you remember before going to America any natural healers or spiritual healers in Zabar
I have not leaders. I give you which one you want. Political?
No, healers. People who heal with natural herbs, with natural medicine, like French talarp in Gozo.
That's what I'm going to tell you. French talarp. Yeah.
French talarp. He's the one I want to know most about. I remember him because my aunts used to go to Gozo to get the herbs. They believed in him completely, my aunts from Hamrun.
Listen, and that was no joke, no lie. That's the truth.
Yeah.
He was very, very famous. Very knowledgeable, and strictly herbs and healing and massaging. He was well known as much as Professor Vella.
Yes. So you remember French talarp? Do you remember?
Of course, yeah. In a French talarp, and then each town had a healer in the sense of massaging. My Aunt Paula, she was one of them that with something with your hand or something with your leg, she massages you and put the bones in place. And she was very good at it. If you go any place, like these bullies and what are the bullies, the tough people, it's Zeus with Hamrun, Tassikina and Bormla, each town.
Hamrun, Tassikina.
انت تفتكروا الزوز اتموسفير يسموه
Iva smajta Zeus.
Zeus was a tough guy.
Bully.
Oh yeah, bully. Oh, they're bullies, yeah. Yeah, quite a few. Each town had its own bullies. Each town has its own hobo, which we call them هنا بالمالتيش هذول. We call them I can't say the word. مش hermit.
Talap.
Zingad, yes.
But
you
I
haven't.
want to
Everybody
know
had it.
more. And were there people who used to heal with traditional medicine in different villages?
That I don't remember.
Not only massage, like French talarp, people who would give you herbs.
Oh yes, yes. But I only remember in the category French talar.
Yeah, French talarp is well known, but yes, I was wondering if you remember more others.
Wait. I remember somebody now. Okay.
Good.
I don't think you remember him. Juan Mamo, Milhamroon. Juan Mamo came to America. He studied in here. Very, very bright man.
He's a writer. He became
He
a
was
writer.
a writer. That's right.
He
He
wrote
wrote-
in Nannu'S, a very famous book.
That's
which
right. Exactly.
studied
That's him.
at university. Yes.
And I brought one of his books, How to Do It. College, he simplified everything. But when we came to America, I find out that a lot of what he wrote in there, I came across it here in different forms. And but he was known, he was a bit of an atheist at times, because his son was my apprentice. That's how I know him so well.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, I went to a whole seminar that lasted a whole day at university about him, about Juan Mamo.
Yeah, and his son was Ari, and maybe you know him. He was my apprentice, Ariel. His name was Ariel.
No, I don't remember them. I just heard about them and sort of learned
But now-
something about them.
Now, Juan Mamo, he was famous for herbs.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's fantastic.
He was very famous. As a matter of fact, when you go by the shores in Shire Hazabar, or it's rough, the rocks, and that little tiny trees grow up, those little tiny, they look like dried trees, miniature trees. They're all over the jetty. They're all over this. And that were very medicinal. And he used to go and search for medicine, search for plants and herbs. And he writes about them and their values. He was famous for that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks. That's very good. I'll try to find out more about his writings on herbs now.
Well, right. He
Fantastic.
was a good writer. And what he said in there was true. I read it.
Oh,
over and
yes.
over
That
again.
book is fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Venut Flamerica. The way
Yes.
they cut their clothes, the way they wear, and what they brought with them. Oh, I could go forever. But I have, my nephew has one of his books, believe it or not, if he still has it, written in Maltese, how to do it. How to do Kif Tamila, Fachli.
Who has this book? Nannu, who has this book?
Tony Saliba. Tony, my brother's poor son, Tony Saliba.
All right, okay.
In case you want to inquire with him, maybe he'll send it to you. Maybe he'll send you a copy of that book.
If he has an extra copy, that would be fantastic. But it's in Maltese.
Maltese, yes.
Wow.
You know something, wait a second. Maybe I could help you with that. I give him a call. If he still have it, he has no use to it because he doesn't write Maltese, but there's a lot of recipes in there.
Wow, yes.
Oh yeah, there's food and how to facilitate it. Maybe I give him a call and tell him to send it to Dawn.
Well, send it to you because it won't come.
It's all right, whatever, to Dawn, if you,
What did you say, Dawn?
I think it's better if he sends it to you and then I'll get it from you when I come to see you in America as soon as I can.
You're going to stay in Gozo. You're going to be the mayor of Gozo soon.
But I'm the
I'd vote for you.
You know, I should tell you guys since we're here, and Nannu, you should contribute. We're doing a Zoom online exhibition of art, music, poetry, all about saving Gozo. So Nannu, if you can, we can show your art. If you want to play a song or something about Gozo, anybody, Marlene, I don't know if anyone knows, but Marlene Saliba here is an amazing poet. Angel and I, when we did our performance to try to save an archaeological site in Mosta, we were reading Marlene's poetry. And, you know, the rest of you, like Jody, you're an artist. Vincent, I know you're in the music world. I don't know how deep you are, but anyway, you can tell your friends, you can join in if you want. It should be fun because
It's one of my Facebooks here.
Wow, how beautiful. Is that your work?
Yeah.
he
I
has
have a lot. I
Wow.
have a lot. I
He
made
has
a DVD. Maybe someday I'll be able to make a copy, send it to Don about my artwork. I don't know how much I did. Same thing with the recorders. Believe it or not. And I'm not bragging, don't get me wrong. I like what I do. So my heart is in it. I have so many paintings that I made that I had to keep a record of what I gave away. The originals before I gave them away, I took pictures of them. So, you know, and I have all recorded on DVDs. Maybe if I make a copy for Dawn, you will be able to see it. Music, my wife has been listening all morning up to now, still listening to all recordings that we made, my brother Paul, and you, all of you would like them because these are nice melodies, not nonsense, no nonsense, just pure, beautiful melodies. Italian and English, beautiful. And I want you to know that the song that I was married with Jerry, it's an English song. As long as you're not in love, why don't you love? And was written by a woman.
Ooh.
What got me married.
Nannu, sing some of it. I love when you sing it. Sing some of it.
What?
Can you sing some of it? Or even with your guitar or your mandolin?
I'm tired of feeling blue. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. As long as you know to love, why don't you love me? You're making me feeling so blue. You're driving me crazy, baby. Trying to guess. Won't you tell me now? Will you tell me no? You gotta get overboard thinking of me until somebody come to you. But as long as you know the love with anyone else, why don't you fall in love with me? Forgive me, baby, but I'm in love with you. And Nana sang it, and she sang it beautifully without rehearsing it. And that's her favorite song. And if I had a mandolin and a piano, I would play for, but they're all out of tune. Anyway, that's my life. Art, music, sports, soccer, especially boxing. And
Boxing. Boxing.
I talk too much, right? I talk too much.
Did you say boxing? Did you say
Well, I love boxing.
Fight each other. I hate it. I hate it.
I love boxing. Yeah. This is here. This is out of memory here.
Wow.
That's by memory. I'm always discussing something. That was my favorite priest, and I don't know what happened to him. I get a picture of him someplace that I sketched. Where is he? No, I don't have it anymore. I don't. It was my favorite. Anyway, what's this? I'm breaking.
No, I have a request. My favorite stories, really, from your childhood, when you talk about the dramas, the theater you did at the Hompesh Theater, and all the little theaters when you were
I
putting.
want to tell Vinny that about the Hompesh. I want to tell Vinny about the Hompesh. I want to say how much he knows about. That's a historical place.
You
Art,
know,
unbelievable.
you know the Hompesh Theater in Zabar, because it's still there. Last I went, but the guy didn't want anyone to know it was there. Do you know it's in the it's like a big shop, a big store.
The name is Tajannaro.
That.
He knows it?
Yes.
Angel, do you know it? Do you know this theater?
No, because it's so local and I'm not that in touch with the bar anymore.
It's a hardware store now.
Okay,
no, the owner is a hardware store. Right now it's a warehouse. Because the theater is still intact. The paintings are all still there.
Yes.
They showed me pictures.
Yes, I saw the painting.
From top to bottom. and the setup is still the same. And it's painted red and white stripes, longwise, and in between the stripe, the red and white, there's the picture, the coat of arms of the
Grandmasters. Yes, I think it was Salvo Sarita who painted that theater.
Salvo Sarita was in America. He was a good actor, good artist, and he did everything himself in there. Everything that he painted. The funny part, if you have someday you have a chance to see it, I go and look at the ceiling. And the ceiling of the theater is all painted, windows with broken glass, like cracked glass in there, but they're so real. They're so real. And if you want to see it, go see his grandson. He's got the hardware store. Tell him you spoke to John Saliba. He's a good friend of his grandfather, Frank
Attard.
Frank Attard, yes. And they bought that when that thing closed. As a matter of fact, even the box office is still open in there. And the pictures of Laurel and Hardy, Paul Whiteman and his orchestra, I remember all the, it's still intact.
But they don't allow people inside. I just got a glimpse.
He allowed Dawn because
I had a long tour and I have a big video of the whole thing. Nanny, but I want to hear the stories about when you were little or young and you did the dramas. Can you share those?
Stories of what you want to hear about?
The dramas, the theater that you did when you were a child.
Oh yeah, we well actually in Malta, Ambulazione Cattolica, it's a Catholic action. They were more religious oriented, but then we were living in an area behind the church street. What used to be Strada Dietro la Chiesa, behind the church street. Now it's called different thing. I don't know what they call it now. Anyway, and we formed a club of single people, just single people. And we formed a club of the theater. We had this more, I don't know if anybody remember, Leli Tikka. If you translate it in English, it'd be Manuel the Spot. He was fantastic director. And we formed this club. And then as we're growing up and we rented the place, it's still in there. The building is still there. And we built a stage, our stage, and all the people and of the neighborhood, we used to entertain them by putting a drama every week. Put a drama. We studied, we rehearsed everything. We had, and everybody loved them. All the neighbors used to go crazy for every week. They bring their own chairs because we didn't have any chairs, and that was for free. But we were good actors. I was a kid then, but the others, they were good, funny people, and very, very formidable people in art, you know. And I lost you.
Do you remember? Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Yes. Now I see you again. Yeah. I could tell you some names that the drama that we said. Good names, good dramas. The best one was Caputineri. Caputineri was Black Hoods, which was actually representing mafia and how they met and how it was organized. It was so real. Then we got Otello, we got Aida, we got the best one was a murder, because Malta, they don't have that many murders, but when there's one, there's a good story behind it. It was the builder of September the 16th, that's the name. Il Benneta 16 Settembre. The builder, the mason of the guy murdered somebody and buried him alive because Malta has double walls, thickness for the weather. The old story. And he buried him alive in there. Well, he built around him.
True.
It was a good drama, yeah, very good drama, and they written by great people.
But did someone do that? Is that a true story?
That's a true story, yeah.
Where was that murder?
Excuse me, just 1 second. Excuse me a second, because I have an appointment at 8:30 with somebody who's going to phone me from England. I have to leave, but I really appreciated this very, very much. I hope to see you again soon.
I enjoyed myself tremendously. Thank you, God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. God bless you.
She's great.
You too. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Let somebody ask, because if I go about my area, University Street, you know, Sadabaya, then I never stop.
You don't have
I
to
could
stop.
give it to you. Huh?
Go for it. Tell us.
You know, how about ghost stories? Yeah, ghost stories, a lot of them.
Let's do all of it. Tell us
Yeah.
about the streets first, and then you can tell us the ghost stories too.
But the street is called Strada Bayada, which was Bayada Street. That's what it's called today. It's right when you go behind the church, and there's a street that connects in Misrah, which is St. Michael's Square, to the Zabbar Road gate, straight. That street was full of technical people. They had their own businesses, cart makers, wheel makers, wagon makers, blacksmiths, ironworks workers, wood turners, tinsmiths, coppersmiths, barrel makers. What could I tell you? More and more and more. It's an endless job. We grew up as children then. We didn't have any toys. We used to make our own. But our job was to go from one place to another. And they let us come in. They let us take part in what they're doing, teach us. And we shared everything with these kids. So that's why I call it University Street, because I knew I was involved in carpentry. I loved it all my life. I was watching the blacksmith, how they turned it with the heat, and they turned the iron, and they make these beautiful ornamented, you know, handrails and balconies and doors. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Then the tinsmith, you see, this guy take a piece of tin and he shapes it up into a beautiful vase or something like that, or kettle to cook, or pots to make, or repairing pots. My father was fantastic on that too. Then there's coppersmiths, the same thing, and there's horseshoe makers. They shoot the horses, remove them, picks up their hoofs and there, put new horseshoes and all. I mean, I go on forever. There's the barrel makers. They used to form the bucket, they strips of wood, light up a fire in between. They had rims already made, and then they put the wood in there in a circle at the beginning, at the bottom, and the heat inside. And as it's heated, they shape and curve it and put the other rims on, etc. And we used to go and roll the tip from one corner to another. They had tile makers. That's another thing. They make the tile, cementation of the floors and mortar, beautiful floors. How it's made. They had presses there. And there was a guy, one of the brothers, he was a crippled fellow, but he was a genius in making these shapes. He makes the forms. And they put them in the molds, and they put different colors in there. They put them on the press, and then seeds them up. Then they put them in the water for about a week to harden up, and then they get the job. And all these designs, they come together like carpets. When you go to any old houses in Malta, you see all these tiles. That's all made handmade. We used to say that we used to help them making that too. And I mean, we're involved in everything, but that was an education. By the time we went to high school, we had a good knowledge of what's going on, what's produced, and what it takes to make it, and the effort and the know-how. Some people couldn't even write their names, but they were geniuses with their hands, what they could do with their hands. You know what I mean? Same thing with the animals, growing the animals in the fields, the farmers all over the place. You know, it's an education by itself. And teachers and priests, forget about it. There was a priest in Sadabayada. This priest lived in that, you know, there's a corner building, a beautiful with the statue on top, a nice barricade around. That priest in there, he used to make ball bearings, engineer.
Spadaro.
Spadaro, that's the one.
Spadaro.
Okay?
Dungulielmo.
That's right, Fegulielmo. His brother Chico, he was a big, huge man on crutches. He made his own car. And that's another building, another statue on top. He even built an elevator. He built an elevator in the garage, and he bring the car up on the second floor.
A car, like you drive a car down the
He made his own car. Yes, yes.
What year is this? What year is this?
All my life. That's all my life.
How old were you? How old were you when he made the car?
Not me. When he made the car, I don't know. He made the car. So,
No, but what year?
and it was a at least. Francis, I come down. Give me a chance. All right.
He's gonna have to go soon. As soon as my Nannu'S.
Okay, I'll be right down.
Johnny, come down. He's gonna.
Yeah, well,
how
that's
old
it.
were you? How old were you when he made?
I thought when World War II started, I was 13 years old. So up to the age of 13, I grew up in that area. That's all I enjoyed it.
This engineer that he's speaking about, he was renowned with the Royal Navy. In fact, the Italians bombed his workshop in one of the earliest raids on Malta because he was engaged with the Royal Navy.
And the three brothers. His other brother is Sir Jose. He had his acetylene gas.
Yes.
Then
He had a
when
contract with the Royal Navy.
That's when World War II started, they took all his stuff and brought it to the naval yard and dockyard.
Yes, because it was very precious for the Navy.
Yeah,
It was
and
very
he was
important for them.
supplying the gas for them.
Yeah, and he
Listen,
was a target, and he was a target for bombing in Zabar.
Oh yeah, sure. And it was around the corners. It's not cheap. And you saw chick, 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 chick. And we used to use the used coal that he made acetylene from, and we used to practice the dark beer, Changaturi, cemented yard.
Do you remember when they repaired the church bell?
Oh yeah, I remember when.
It
as
was
a matter of fact,
It was Paspadaro who did it.
Yes,
If I'm correct.
that's right. And even when we put it up, I remember when they put it up.
That was
and
my Nannu'S father. He'll put it up.
My wife's father was one of them. And there was the riggers with the ropes to put it up. And I remember it's like a scene from the movies when they raised that bell up. There was a rope from the top of the steeple, gone to the hooked up to the bell, and the other end, the whole time pulling the rope all the way down Sanctuary Street, and the rope was raised up in place. Listen, I'm gone from Nannu'S for a long time. Forgive me, I hate to leave because I enjoy myself talking to you.
Thank you so much. It was
Thanks,
really
thanks.
nice listening to you, as always. Really, really nice. We're very lucky to hear you. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
I'm very
Process.
lucky to have such an audience.
Thank
And
you
that-
so much.
And what I have told you and recited is true knowledge, through growing up with. And you know, I have no regrets that I grew up
That's
in
right.
Malta. I have no
Precious.
regrets that I grew up in Malta because I proudly say I came to America quite an educated person in engineering, in architecture, in know-how, in music, language. I'm coming, France. I gotta go. I'm very sorry.
Okay, bye.
Thank
I
you.
love you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
I
Thank
love you.
you.
God
It was
bless you.
beautiful.
Bye, John. Nice to meet you.
But Samjit, I'm sorry I
Bye,
didn't
bye.
get to talk to you a lot.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you
bless
very
you.
much. Thanks.
Thank
God
you.
bless you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Dawn.
Okay.
Bye.
Love you.
If anyone wants to hang around and chat, I can.
Warden,
Oh, sorry. I said if anyone wants to hang around and chat, I'm happy to keep chatting. But you know,
keep talking. How do I turn this thing off now?
you have to go to the lower right-hand
Okay,
corner.
it says leave, and
Yeah.
I left.
Leave.
Love you.
Love you. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye. Okay, so it's me and Jerry and Vince. That was just getting good. I hate when he has to go.
But it was okay. It was very good. It was very good.
It was
And
starting. It was just starting to get good when he was talking about, you know, the streets and the university street that he calls it. And then I don't understand this whole thing that you were talking about with the priest who made the car. What do you?
the Paspadaro family is a renowned family in Zabar. It still is. It still is. I even went to talk to a lawyer of the family now. One of them is a lawyer. He still lives in that house that John was talking about. One of them, Giuseppe, who had the acetyl implant, was even our band club's president. They were very innovative. The priest, Guglielmo Paspadaro, was even an editor of a journal. If you go to the National Library, you will find. I think it was Il Vessillo Cattolico. He was the editor and printer of the newspaper.
I really don't understand this. I'm sorry. Can we go back? Go back. Nannu was talking about a priest and his brother.
Yes.
What were their names?
The priest was Guglielmo.
Guillermo.
Which is William in English.
Okay. And
Which is William. Pace Spadaro, double barrel. Pace Spadaro.
Okay, I can't say that.
If you go and ask for anyone in Bayada Street, they will show you the house for sure, because it's a very prominent house.
No, I know the house because he showed me the house, but I'm still confused. So the priest was in that big house, and then he had a brother with no legs. Was that the story?
I never heard about the brother with no legs, but I know for sure that there was an engineer in the family who was Joseph Paspadaro. I heard a lot about him. He had an acetyl implant with a direct contact with the Royal Navy at the start of World War II, when he was becoming a target of the Italian bombing. They transferred his plant from Zabar to the underground dockyard.
So he was an engineer designing what?
He had an acetyl implant.
What is this? I don't understand.
It's a gas. It's a gas used for blow torches.
Oxyacetylene.
Yes, that is it. Oxyacetylene. It is used for welding material for cutting beams. It's a flammable gas. It's very flammable. He had a plant. John was talking about a place with all the timings and things. That was his workshop. That was the workshop of the engineer.
Okay. And so the other brother who built the car and the elevator for the car.
I never heard about it, but it could be true because they were very innovative.
He's told me this story so many times, but I never understood exactly who this guy was. Like I don't know if he had no legs or if he was crippled, but there was some major disability. He always talks about this.
They were a big family, so they could have someone in the family who had no legs with an injury or something.
And it's near, that house where the priest was. What is that, Bayada Street? Like
yes.
If you cross it, so there's that, where my Nannu lived, the street where he lived.
Bayada, yes.
No, my Nannu was on Sanctuary Street.
Okay.
So Bayada's here and Sanctuary Street's here. Mm-hmm. And then so the priest's house is here, but the other guy's house, his relative that built the car, is across the street over here. He'll tell you. He'll tell you next time because I have it because I was very
okay. I think now it's called Garden Street or Sada Giardino.
I don't know.
It's all in that area. Nowadays, even a street is near Bayada is called Pace Spadaro Street for them.
And Jerry, Jerry's dad was very prominent Maltese. I don't know what to say. Citizen, soldier, spy. Can you tell us? And he's also from Zabar, my Nana's brother. Can you tell us more about your dad and everything he did in World War II?
I actually can't.
Why not? You don't know?
Well, I don't know. That's a very good point. I don't know. I have
because
his
it was classified, I think.
But I heard the stories from other people.
But they may be rumors, not stories.
Well, yes. I mean, most people in the war, they don't talk a great deal, one. And two, as sons, as children, when you get told anything, you really don't, it doesn't register.
Yeah. Because you tune it out, you hear it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can remember some things. My father and my brother was born in West Wales, and I lived with my mother and my father in West Wales because my father was in the Air Force stationed in West Wales. And then at the time of the Normandy invasion, you may recall the invasion of Europe.
Of course.
Through Normandy. My father went as part of that.
I didn't know
the British forces. And he told me that he was on a ship crossing the channel and he was petrified. I remember this because there was a U-boat. And so, you know, everybody, I guess, were fearing that they were going to go down.
Of course.
So, you know, I remember little pieces like this. But, and I also, I suppose, you know, my father, you know, didn't like to kill anything. The spiders, anything, nothing should be killed. And, you know, in France, what he did say, he was horrified by what he saw. Yeah. And the behavior of some of the troops. Yes, that were on the Allied side. Yeah. So, you know, and this, you know, I guess he was left shocked by that, you know. So, and the other, I mean, he did tell me that he went to France to a part. I always imagined they sent him to deal with these French resistance, to talk to them. I always imagined it's because he probably was the only one that spoke any French. Yes, yeah, because the English are not known as linguists. Yeah, and of course he spoke more than just French. Yeah, so there's all that there. But and after my mother died, my younger son telephoned me and said, "Dad, it's, you know, Granddad's gone off to France." I said, "Well, yes." And he said, "Yes, he's gone down to track these French people from the war, and my mother would never let him go. So after she died, he went." And my younger son was very, very worried. How will he ever do it? How will he ever get there? And all these questions. I said, he will, because he can speak French. He can get by in French. Yeah. And my younger son is fluent in French. Yeah. So he was really worried. Anyway, my father got to where he wanted to go, and the people had moved. Not surprising, after many years had elapsed. And I was working so hard that it was impossible for me to actually get in the car and say, you know, let's go off to France. I'll drive you there from one place to another until we track them down. And that, you know, I regret I wasn't able to do that. But then, you know, I was working in the university. I had a very big, I had hundreds of students. I had lots of other things on at the time. I was examiner for of colleges in England. I had one in Switzerland, and also used to have to go to the Far East. And yes, I did go to America as well, but not to work in hotels, but to visit some certain universities. Yeah, but that little story. We've moved on to me now, and I'll share some of that with you sometime, Dawn, when we're able to travel.
Yes. The story I heard, and I don't know if your brother told it to me, and I kind of I kind of think Franz did. I heard that your dad was a spy who was shipped to Germany and was part of an effort to convince Hitler not to, I don't know, like before the war, like not to invade Poland or not to perform action. I heard
that is utter nonsense.
I don't know who told it to me. I have no idea.
That is utter nonsense. Okay. Yes. I can only think that somebody else planted that in his head.
Yeah, babies gave me a telephone. Like all of a sudden,
My
Jerry
father
was
was,
a spy who could have talked Hitler out of invading Poland.
that's utter nonsense. You know, my father came from Saliba, a pretty simple background, yeah, to the UK. I went to Poland, maybe he's got it muddled up. I went to Poland when the old lot was still in power, and I never went to talk them out of anything. Yes. And then to Hungary, oh sorry, to Czechoslovakia and then to Hungary, but it was that, but it was, that was something else, but oh, yeah.
Okay, another thing I heard about Uncle Jerry was that he was the top student in Zabar, that he was, the top grades, he had the best maybe linguistic ability, and that they chose him, that the British Air Force came in and chose him to go with them for the war effort. That's something else.
No, because the background is this. The background is like, as you would have found, all Maltese speak a lot of languages.
True.
And that which they don't speak, they can quickly cobble together another number of languages to make themselves understood.
So jealous
of that. Yeah, but so he came from a simple background, yes. And in England, he was called up, as it's called. By being called up, you're brought in, conscripted to go into the army or into the navy or the air force. And that's how he found his way into it.
Wait, so he went to England before the war?
Yes.
Why did he go to England? Why did he go there?
Well, because, like many people and many families in Malta, it was, people there wasn't a great deal of money, and if you had to escape in a sense, as you do from parts of England or Wales or Scotland, yes, even today. If you want to give your family a better chance, a family rather, if you're going to have a family, and people from Malta, pre-war and post-war, went off to places like the United States, Australia, or the United Kingdom. And so my father came to the United Kingdom.
So was he married at the time?
No, because my mother is not Maltese.
Okay.
My mother's English. My mother's English.
So he just left for money? There was no other reason? Did he have a job?
Well, he had an engineering position that he went to.
Oh. He was an engineer. Your dad was an engineer. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me to wrap my mind, because you have to understand, I grew up with my Nana knowing nothing about her siblings, let alone you guys. I didn't know you exist. I didn't. I'm sorry. They never told us about you. They just didn't. They didn't talk about Nannu'S family. It was always Nannu'S family in America. It was never Nannu'S family around the world. And to hear that my Nana had a brother who was an engineer, I mean, because my Nana only went to school up to 2nd grade. She didn't want to go to school, and she didn't have to go to school. Her parents didn't force her. It wasn't a law. So she's not very educated. And so I grew up with a very simple grandmother. And it's just bizarre when I came to Malta, like her sister, Siajana, was quite intelligent. And I know she was raised in a different household because my Nana's family didn't have enough money. So they gave away their eldest daughter to be raised by their aunt. And I don't know if you know this, but Siajana grew up in her aunt's house, not in my Nana's mother's house. And Siajana was educated. She was wealthy. She had like a lot of toys. And when my Nana went to visit her, she wasn't allowed to touch any of her toys, any of her stuff. So there was like a big division between Siajana and my Nana, and I guess her other sister, Siachetta. And I guess the boys were educated like your dad and the other 2 brothers.
Well, my father would disagree with that he was educated.
But he was an engineer.
Yeah, okay. All right, maybe we see that as technical education rather than educated.
I have to say engineering in Malta is different from engineering in America. And I don't know what like in Malta, I have students that are in the engineering program, but they're just going to be like installing electricity or something. Whereas in America, when we say engineers, we mean the people that are designing radar and submarines at the highest level.
That's the difference between university and the MCAST education in Malta.
Yes, it is.
That sums it up. Yeah. But however, what you often find is those that have an understanding of MCAST in all sorts of fields, if you like, at that level, are able to build the more academic and the higher level on top. I find it very interesting, the Shikluna who went to the United States in the early 1800s from St. Clair, where he was a fail, if you like, in St. Clair, and his father made him work in the shipbuilding. And he learned shipbuilding, very practical, went to the United States, and from there went to Canada and built this big, famous shipbuilding yard, very famous, and it built battleships, and in Canada, it's part of Canada's history. This man is. He also, incidentally, took in escaped slaves from the Deep South who escaped to Canada.
This
and
is
he took them in.
A Shikluna from St. Clair. Where is St. Clair?
Sanglia.
Sanglia.
Oh, Sanglia. You.
Sanglia, l'Isla.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that's.
Wait a second. That could be a relative because Nana's mother was born in Sanglia, or Kaspiqua.
Yeah, but so.
Kaspiqua is Bormla. They are very close, but they're not the same.
I know. I lived in Bargu for a year, so I know the three cities. I taught at AUM before they fired us in Sanglia.
Yeah, so if you
that's a very sad place.
Yeah, I mean, Canadians out of the blue who have been involved in the Canadian Navy will actually mention this person's name.
Wow.
So it's quite a bit of history there.
That could really be our ancestor with Shikluna and Sanglia.
Who knows? It might be. It might be. It might be. But this, he sounds really very interesting, because what he did is apparently he had his workforce, and when the economy turned down, the economic cycle, economy turned down, he didn't shed his labor, he retained them. So when things picked up again, he had labor ready to move ahead. The tradition, the approach that we seem to find nowadays, let's be charitable and call it an Anglo-American approach, is you shed everybody. Yes, you're brutal, get rid of them.
Call it an American approach.
But then, pardon?
Fine, you can just say that's the American way. That's fine.
Yeah.
Boy, I live in Malta.
Yeah, so, and therefore, you're not ready for when the uptake comes. Yes, you haven't got the skilled force, the labor force. Yeah.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but if I mean, the Times of Malta, I think it was, wrote something on this particular guy many years ago.
What's his first name?
Oh, you're asking me something now. I don't know. Incidentally, the name, in the United States, he changed it slightly to accommodate their limited ability with languages. Yes.
Don't blame
me. So instead of SCI, it's I think it's SIKLUNA. However, the big board in Canada made of steel, which commemorates this man, does state his birth name as we know it. The spelling is as we know it. Yeah.
Because Canadians are far more sophisticated than Americans.
Well, yes, there seems to be a lot of them around with the surname Shikluna there.
News? I had no idea about any of this. I really didn't.
So, well, I may be able to find something here, which if I do, I'll email it to you.
So let me pick your memory while I have you here. So how far back do you remember with your family? Like, do you remember your grandparents at all?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't. No.
But do you know anything
Because,
about them? Okay.
oh, you know, in 1945, when the war was over, my father, still in the Air Force, was sent to Malta. And so my mother went there, my brother and I, and we were 2 years there. So I would have met, obviously. I mean, there was a picture or two with my grandfather, but I really don't remember anything of any consequence other than getting chilies in my eyes and extreme things like that. Oh, and on the way back, I had a fight on this English troop ship with a boy that was bullying me, and he was a lot older. But let me say, he ended up crying.
How old were you?
So I was the winner, although I was a lot younger, and I ended up with a black eye. But I effectively, yeah. So we had a fight. So that was on. How old I would have been? 5, 6.
Okay. So you lived in Malta from the age of like 3 to 5 or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the ship, when we went to Malta, we went on a troop ship, and the troop ship stopped amongst other places, Malta, and then went on to Egypt, Port Said. Yeah. And so it's full of troops. And we had to share a cabin. That's my mother. That was my mother, my brother and I shared a cabin with somebody who later on, who was married to a man who later on was called Lord Dorman. And as Maltese will tell you, he was the Governor General of Malta, but many years later.
Yeah, Sir Maurice Dorman, I think. It was Sir Maurice Dorman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When there was a dispute with Malta, he said he stood foursquare with Malta against the British government. Yeah.
I think it was the last governor of Malta before the independence, if I'm not correct. That's right.
Give me a second. I have to plug my computer in. You guys can keep talking. I'll put myself on mute because I'm running out of power. It's not plugged in. So
I'm running out of time.
Okay.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's been very good, but I have to leave.
Maybe. So much. We should really get together in Zabar one day. I should take a trip when lockdown is finished and it's safer.
Yes, and you will see the new band club now, because we're constructing it from scratch practically.
Oh, my nanny would love that. I should take videos, or we can live.
We have a Facebook page. We're updating it nearly weekly about the construction site. If you can go in it, or maybe pass it to Nannu. Yes, it's just the name of the club. Società Filarmonica Gracia. We're updating the construction process.
So oh wait, Filarmonica Maria. Okay, I found it.
That's it. I think the last update was last Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It's a major project. We got some funds from Teatro Malta and Arts Council Malta, and it is going to be big.
Do me a favor. I'm sending it to my Nannu right now, but remind him next time you talk to him, because I have a memory like a sieve.
It's no problem. It's no problem.
I'll do it now, and then I'm gonna forget about it because I only have so much storage space and it's full. So I'm gonna do it right now, but just tell him.
During the conversation, I sent you, John, some photos that I uploaded, and even more. I sent it to John by email.
Oh, okay, nice. Thank you.
So it's okay. So I have to go for now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Next time I will mention the Facebook page to John. It's very interesting.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Shikluna, thank you very much. John, thank you very much.
And all. And if your colleague or whoever it is wants to contact us because we are old, yes,
He's
I'm
not
happy to.
my friend. He's my friend Angel's student.
Okay.
So I don't know him, but he was very sweet. He was very nice. She called him her protege. So yes, I'll mention it to Angel next time I see her or talk to her, because I don't know him, but it was her idea. She wanted her students to do this project to help, people in lockdown in Malta. Vince, don't let me keep you. I mean, if you want to stay, that's fine, but don't stay because I'm talking. It's fine.
Okay, don't worry. So it's okay. So good night and thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks.
Good night.
Okay. Just give me a second. I really have to plug this computer in because I'll get cut off. So give me a second, and I'll put it on mute because I have to move my furniture to reach the outlet. So 1 second. Okay, that's so much better because I wanted the fire in the background for the effect, but it was very uncomfortable on my body being tilted for like the last 2 hours. So I'm gonna put you on my lap. Oh, my neck, my back. Oh my God. Okay. So the things we do for aesthetics.
So you're lucky that you still got age on your side.
Do I now? I'm a lot older than I look. Put it this way. I'm a lot older than I look.
Yeah, and me. I feel a lot older than I feel that I am, rather.
No, I'm happy I look young, but it's scary. So I'm not married. I don't have a lot of money. I'm stuck in Malta. It's okay. I'm making the most of my life. That's true. So.
Yeah, good. Well, we feel we're stuck here, because we're not meant to travel, and we can only go out for essential things. We've had the vaccination, the first one, and we're waiting for the next. We keep booking to go to Malta, to fly to Malta, and they keep getting cancelled.
I can't wait for this to end, and I hope it does end, because last I talked to Charles Kikuti, he scared me because he said he doesn't think it's ever going to end. He thinks this is here for good. And you know what? It's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it's possible that this virus can keep mutating. Like the flu always mutates, the cold always mutates. I mean, hopefully, this vaccination will be effective. We'll achieve herd immunity in our communities. I don't think the world will achieve that. I mean, all the third world countries. So
I agree with you. I think Charles is right, but it's depressing to think so.
Well, I mean, let's look on the bright side. There are some amazing things. The technology, that is emerging, the new vaccine technologies is a game changer for everything I read. The mRNA vaccine, because you're not taking like a weakened version of the vaccine with the Moderna and the Pfizer ones, you're taking some kind of genetically synthesized one. And apparently there's like a shell now that they developed, so you can put different mRNA molecules into this shell. So now that they have this technology to eradicate not just corona, but other diseases that aren't as popular or widespread. So that's actually kind of amazing. So that's good. And what else is good about this? I mean,
well, Zoom technology.
Zoom.
So we have here, we meet friends via Zoom, get-togethers. We have art that we do, association we're members of via Zoom. They meet. We do Pilates via Zoom.
Wow.
A small group, but there's an instructor. We occasionally meet with the sons via Zoom. We're not meant to meet because of traveling with the sons and the families. Yeah. So although we did a week ago travel to see one son, we took Christmas presents and birthday presents that have been just sitting here. So we went and we stood outside the house, put them down. They came out, collected them, yes, and handed a big plant to us. Yes. So, we can't get any closer than that. With my other son, he shouldn't, but he has come here and we've met in the garage with the door open and it's freezing. It's freezing. But he has two daughters, so it's two granddaughters there. One is at Manchester University and one's at University of Warwick. So it's pretty miserable. They've had a miserable time. They've been away. And, well, we haven't seen them for some time, other than via Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, so at least the pandemic hit during this era, right? If it hit in the 80s, 90s, even 10 years ago, we wouldn't have had this technology to keep in touch via Zoom, to have dance classes or university instruction. Like my life got disrupted by COVID with my studies here in Malta with archaeology. It was like this. It was like all of a sudden, a gate came down between me and my studies. I had Zoom and I'm still able to like keep in touch a bit and go to online lectures, but the whole social structure that I had has disappeared. But at least I have that. Without Zoom, I wouldn't even have had that. I wouldn't have had any lectures. I wouldn't have been able to, stay in touch with my professors that much, maybe on the phone, but, not. So, at least we have it. That's something good.
Yeah, that's right. And just think, 20 odd years ago, we wouldn't have had the email.
That's true. And it would have sucked. And imagine all the kids at home, all the children. You're just stuck at home with your kids all day. You have limited books. You can't go outside that much. You can't run around the playground with other kids. Jesus Christ. It's crazy. It's an absolutely insane period of human history we're living through. We're living through this period of human history that is going to be embedded in the geological record. It already has, like, because we ceased all the motor activity for a while, that's registered in the geological record of the entire planet. If the human species disappears and then one day you have some alien species come to this planet and start excavating, they're going to see the cessation of motorized activity, or at least intense motorized activity, in the year 2020. They're going to see it in the record. I mean, that's how intense this period is. And we're all in the middle of it, and we don't know when it will end. We don't know if it's really going to end with this vaccine. We hope it will. I think it will, but I don't know. Like the Pfizer and Moderna, at least you're 95, 96% vaccinated, protected. With AstraZeneca, the 60, it's like 40 to 70%, so say 60%. I don't really feel that protected with it. I mean, yes, it's better than nothing, but I'm going to still wear my mask even after I'm fully vaccinated.
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, we should continue to wear the mask. Look, the AstraZeneca, there's a lot of politics swirling around this. So, you know, if only we could clear that away.
Is there politics against the company itself? Is that why all these EU countries? Because the blood clot thing doesn't hold water. It doesn't. I'm sorry.
No.
And I find it really difficult to believe that countries like Germany and I don't know, Switzerland or these are, you know, the leaders of the EU. This isn't Croatia or Estonia where they're acting on fear and pseudoscience. What's really going on behind this cessation of vaccination? Do you know?
I don't. But it's all on now. Everybody's using it. If the French have a ceiling on age, that's something else. I mean, these politics, remember, they're very populist politicians, even though they say the ones they're fighting against aren't.
It has done so much harm. It makes me cry because we need people to get vaccinated. And the last thing we need are, you know, to have this fear instilled. So even if they shut it down for a day, which they did, more than a day, now all these people are like, no, we can't get vaccinated. No, we're going to get blood clots. It's nonsense. And now all these people aren't going to get vaccinated because of this. For this stupidity, absolute stupidity. Yeah. Italy did it. How there 17 countries, 17, Denmark.
They've all moved on now. But they can't get the stuff now because India says they want it for themselves. And they're the big manufacturers, and they're not sending it. They want it for the Indians.
Maybe the silver lining. Maybe the silver lining is we'll get Moderna and Pfizer vaccines because they're the better ones anyway. But the problem is they have to be stored in sub-zero temperatures. You know, and like getting that to an island like Malta or I don't know, because I know they're manufactured in America. So it's easy to move them across the continent, but it's less easy to get them across the ocean.
Yeah, but they're not all made there. They're made in Europe as well.
They're made in Germany, are they? Or
in Belgium.
Okay. I want this vaccination. So, I mean, we all do. We'll get it. I might go home to get it. I don't know. Anyway, let's stop thinking about COVID.
Anyway, I shall say good night now.
All right.
Because
it was so lovely seeing you. And please give my hugs to Janet. I'm sorry she wasn't around that much for the conversation, but
Janet, Dawn here is saying goodbye, good night. Janet's been digging the garden today.
Hi, Janet.
Yeah, I've been doing gardening.
How lovely. How are you? I miss you.
Oh, well, fingers crossed we might get across in May. I hope so, but who knows?
Who
knows? Fingers crossed. Yeah. Anyway, lovely to see you. And, I'm glad it went well this evening. Well done. I shall say bye-bye because I'm getting supper. And you look tired.
I am. It's been quite a week. But it was lovely chatting with you, and I hope all is well. And I hope you're just stay safe.
Yes, and you too. Okay. Take care, Dawn.
Take care, Janet.
Bye now. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
You can press it.
Lovely talking to you again.
Yeah, lovely talking to you, Dawn.
Yes,
thanks for putting this together.
Yes, every week. I mean, if Nannu wants to do it, I'll do it. It's up to him, really. But I'm happy to do it every week. But we'll see. Next time, we'll see you next time.
Don't forget, bring in those Australians next time.
The problem is the time period. it's so hard for me to calculate a time between Melbourne, Malta, and America where I'm actually free.
Yeah.
It's
okay. Yeah, I can understand that. But otherwise, just Google it and it gives you the times.
No, I did Google it, but it's hard. I did Google it, but it's just hard to find an actual time that works for all. My Nannu has a limited amount of time where he wants to be able to do this. He doesn't. He has his good hours and his not good hours according to him. And actually, today was a bad hour, but it worked. But he said 2 o'clock was a bad hour. Whatever, it was fine. Who knows? All right.
Anyway, good night, Dawn. Good night.